Disney Plus is alive. We talk Offsite accommodations and we retire attractions at Islands of Adventure. All this and more on today's episode of the We Like Theme Parks
podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we proudly present a spectacular festival of theme park audio commentary magic, the We Like Theme Parks podcast.
Yo. Bring it back now.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Welcome, my fellow theme parkers, to the We Like Theme Parks podcast, your go-to spot for news, opinions, and other nerdy fun happenings in and around the Disney and Universal theme parks. I'm Chris Bond, hi-ho, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host, Disney and Universal insider, photographer, and travel journalist from stepstomagic.com, and the co-host of the Universal Joint podcast. It's Mr. Dustin Fuhs.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, that's a nice one. So you didn't double up on the hi-hos.
Yeah, didn't hi-ho, didn't congaloosh.
You know what? I like the congaloosh.
I know.
Kind of a jelly of the
Well,
congaloosh.
now you know what congaloosh is.
I
If you
do.
go
I
back and
didn't.
listen to it, you're
I
just
did
like,
not know.
what's congaloosh? And I'm like, dude,
I
nerd
thought-
cred.
Yeah, I was not nerd creding that day. I thought it was from some like Disney animated series, something like Recess that I'd never seen.
Classic.
Well, because I'm older, right? That's like your age stuff. You haven't seen Tron, homie, so calm down.
It
All
happens.
right. Mark Andrada is still away on tour. Mark, we miss you.
We definitely miss
Do
him.
you miss us is the question.
Let's see what Mark has to say.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Thanks, Mark.
You can't just do it like that. You got to be like, Mark, would you agree that Dustin Fuhs doesn't know anything about Tron?
Yeah. I'm into everything you're talking about right now.
Okay, it didn't quite work.
Okay,
right?
try one more.
Try one more.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, would you agree that the show suffers when you're not on it?
Oh, for sure.
Would you agree that you're the backbone of the We Like Theme Parks podcast?
Sure.
Just a sure. That's all it is, a sure. That works. That's funny. Hey, welcome fans and friends and theme parkers. We're happy you're here. And I have to say something because I wasn't on the pod a couple weeks ago and it was just D Money and Mark. And they introduced Christmas. And Christmas is my favorite thing
It
ever.
is.
You guys kind of segued into it without me. And I got to say, I was a little disappointed because who's the Christmas guy?
Me.
No, you're the Christmas guy?
Ho, ho, ho.
I'm the Christmas guy. Fire it up. Woo! Yes, it's Christmas. Halloween is over. Let's go to Disneyland. We'll eat some stuff at Christmas time and hang out with our Christmas friends. Yay, Christmas. I love Christmas, Dustin. You're not feeling these vibes?
I'm just enjoying the show.
Yeah.
We should be recording this.
Well, we
Like,
should be recording this. It's true. I do love me a good Christmas season. And you know what? Well, you guys announced it and you talked about all the Christmas things. I felt totally like left out because I love Christmas. I love going down to the parks at Christmas.
Yeah.
We were talking last week about the Grinch
Yep.
and how much we dig on the Grinch
Sure.
at Christmas over at Seuss Landing. And just the Mickey, the Christmas parties
Yeah.
and the different food. Anyway, and barking dogs. These are all Christmas things.
I think you're barking up at the wrong tree there, buddy.
Oh, nice. So glad Christmas time is here. Get at us at ideas at welikthemeparks.com. Do you guys like to go for the holidays? Are you going because of the holidays? Like, do you want to celebrate Christmas?
Usually it's not because of the holidays. Usually
Yeah.
it's because they have time off.
Then why is like the Christmas Day so crazy? Why is there a zillion people there on Christmas Day?
Because no one works Christmas Day.
Oh, so what? The parks are just kind of lean? On
No,
staff?
like no one outside.
Oh, everyone has a day off,
Like
you mean.
teachers and
Oh,
everyone like
right.
that. They make that, and I don't want to say pilgrimage, but I just did, to the parks because they're like, oh, I want to go and experience the magic that is Christmas Day, and it's completely bogus. We basically been thrown I don't know, thrown something. I'm gonna try this again.
What are we throwing, Dustin?
we've basically been brainwashed by the Disney company over the years how they present their Christmas Day parade.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, if you're here, you can see all the magic and the memories and everything. Like, I'm sorry, they're filming that thing in November.
Yeah, so it's a little phony, but whatever. It's
But
Christmas.
people don't know that.
Okay. But on my point is, I think you hit the nail on the head with people who aren't working.
They just have
I feel
time
like
off.
every teacher
Oh, teachers
and all their kids
absolutely
are going there for Christmas because that's the only time they can go. It's that or it's, well, I guess
Spring
they can go
break.
anytime during the summer and spring break.
Any of the Fridays or the Mondays off, the long weekends, President's Day, like all that.
Yeah.
Every time there is a Monday or a Friday off, everything's just crazy.
Well,
down
this
there.
is why I've been talking since episode 1 about the cherry time to go. Every year, except this year because of
First week of December.
Rise of the Resistance, it's
Yep.
first week of December.
Yep.
It's dead-ish. It's cheaper to go. Nobody's traveling. They're not pulling stuff down
Mm-hmm.
because for refurbishments because they know that the holiday season is so close
Yeah.
and everything has to be tip top and you get to enjoy all the holiday offerings. Like what? It's early November right now.
Yeah, the first Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party was sold out.
And what day was that on?
It was
like a few days into
it was
November, right?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
here's the funny thing:
Yeah.
when you're looking in November, you still have horrible weather. So that first Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party was rained out.
Huh. Whoops.
So imagine going and being like, I get to walk down Main Street and have all the snow. It's Snope.
Yeah.
It's soap. So
it's Snope.
so when the Snope comes down onto Main Street, you know what that Snope and water? That means you're going to be slipping and sliding, sweeping and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper. Like it gets very difficult heading up and down that Main Street.
I still like to go in December. That week is cherry. Yeah, you're
Very
going
soon.
So Dustin is leaving. We talked about this last week, but let's reiterate. Let's throw Jim Hill another bone.
we don't have to.
No, let's do it. Why not? You're here. The
You know
Universal
why
Joint
we don't have
Podcast-
to?
Why is that?
Because this is dropping on Monday
Oh, right.
and the event is already over. So it was a great event.
Tell me
We
about
had
it.
a blast. I had a ton of butterbeer.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we rode Hagrid's 27 times.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Grinch was great.
Was he funny? Did he make fun of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, come on. What isn't there to make fun
Was
of?
he like, hey, your face looks like an onion?
Yeah, that
You
sounds
got a
about
few
right.
layers.
It's all about the layers. I'm sure that we had a great time at the rooftop party.
In all earnest.
Sure.
We're excited that you're going. So excited to unpack all the stuff that actually happens when you return and talk all about it. But if you don't know about him, you can check out Dustin on the Universal Joint Podcast. I'm sure there'll be a ton of content. They're going to be doing a live podcast from where is it?
Sapphire Falls.
At Sapphire Fancy. So check him out. It might be super fun. If you don't know Jim Hill, Disney Universal historian, but also on the side, Dustin will do a little, we like theme parks. And we'll hear
I'll
all about
definitely
it.
do my best. I think during the trip, we'll be doing a lot of random stuff. I'll look over at Jill and she'll be like, do you want me to record something now? I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, she's into
Butterbeer. She's going to be my photographer, my
it.
videographer, and
Yeah, I can promise you that this weekend is going to be jammed on the We Like Theme Parks Insta with Dustin.
Oh, yeah.
Eating all kinds of crap, waving it in my face. Is this the corn dog you're looking for, sir? Is this the turkey leg you're looking for, sir? In the spirit of bad segues, T Public shout out.
T Public presents. It's your shout out.
All right. At Pixie Cuts and Churro Dust. That's right. I said at Pixie Cuts and Churro Dust. It's Alex, and she's a budget-friendly theme park fan and fashionista. Welcome to the We Like Theme Parks family. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for following us, and we're happy you're with us.
Nice.
How about you, D-Money?
I've got RVing to Disney.
Oh, yeah.
So
I wonder
it's-
what they do.
Well, they've got a YouTube channel. They are big into Disney. So yeah, that's RVing to Disney.
So go check out these guys, RVing to Disney and at Pixie Cuts and Churro Dust on the Insta. And if, hey, it's about that time, guys. It's November, which means all the fancy deals are coming down the pipe from everything. If you check out T Public now, I think it's 35% off, that kind of action.
Yeah, so during Black Friday and during, every crazy time during, as you said, it's holiday time.
Yeah.
If you go through to welikethemeparks.com, click through the link, and it'll basically say whether or not there's a deal or not going on right now. Most times you're looking at, at least a 20-25%, but every so often there's a 35% discount. We don't have a promo code right now, but it was just easier to say, hey, the whole site is on sale for 35%.
Yeah, just pop on to welikthemeparks.com, click, go through there, and there's going to be great deals. And I can't wait to get my Condor Man shirt. I can't wait to get my Tron Recognizer. I'm going to get like a, what do you call them? Like a crop top, not a crop top. Oh my God. Like a tank top,
Okay.
A crop top.
Hey.
Oh my goodness. You seen the one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It has
yeah.
the picture of the Recognizer and it says recognize.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If you you can go to TeePublic and you can see our favorite t-shirt picks. You can see Bondo's picks, Dustin's picks, Tal's picks. Check it out. Mark, I don't think Mark's done his yet. Did I say Tal's picks?
You said Tal.
Well, this is a great segue. We've been talking all this time, but we actually have another gentleman at the table with us today.
We do.
May I introduce my friend Tal?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined today by my good friend Tal Aulbrook, who's going to be joining the round table. Tal is a huge Diz fan, a huge theme park guy. He goes there at least once, sometimes twice a year. Tal, what's up, buddy?
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries.
It's funny when you called me to come on. I was like, oh, that's great. I've been texting and whatnot, and I'm like, who am I replacing? I was like, Mark. I'm not funny.
You like the show?
Yes.
Oh, thanks,
Of course. And,
Sweet.
I guess you wouldn't show up if you thought it was.
It fits right into
garbage.
my wheelhouse of what I watch on YouTube, what
Yeah.
I listen to.
Yeah.
I'm all about theme parks almost all the time.
I know, yeah.
So
what was a
once I
big
heard
part of you and I coming together? Like, I've known Tal for 10 years now?
About that,
8 years?
going on there.
And we used to talk theme parks. He was like, "Oh, dude, you're going to Orlando? I was just there." And it's amazing how people come together over theme parks or sports or whatever it is. From
Yeah.
Tal and I, it was both of those things.
Yes.
So you like basketball? I like basketball. You like hockey? I like hockey. You like Mickey Mouse? Me too. Let's hang out. So Tal, you're on the pod. We're thrilled that you're here. You know what Dustin is going to make you do anytime you're a guest on the podcast? Get ready for some theme park authentication.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Wait, you're usurping our questions with your phone?
Yes.
How
So
dare you?
If I fail this miserably, do I just leave right away?
Yeah, we open the door and we say, "Hey, that was fun."
Yeah.
We just show you the door.
Yeah.
See ya. I think you'll be okay.
Oh, I think you're going to be fine. All right. So, what is your favorite theme park?
Of all time or right now?
Look at this guy. Don't show off. Just spit out your favorite theme park.
Universal Studios. It actually has always been Universal Studios.
All right. So, what is your favorite ride?
Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain.
Splash Mountain?
Is Marty Adams here?
Yeah. Flashback.
Mountain.
All right. And what is your favorite go-to snack?
Now that's a good one as well. How can you not go with the turkey legs?
Right?
Like,
right?
It's like
Do we even need to go further?
We do.
All right.
We do, because turkey leg is not the correct answer.
It's the right answer. Don't let this guy bully you.
That's part of the fun. What attraction would you like to walk the track of?
I guess it would have to be Space Mountain because
Yeah.
you never get to see what it is. It'd be really interesting to walk and actually see what's actually going on in that ride besides stars and screams.
Yeah.
Very true.
Stars and Screams is a great name for it.
Yeah. What attraction do you like the least?
Carousel of Progress is probably the worst
Oh,
thing
oh,
I've
oh.
ever.
Mark Andrade. Wait, where's Mark Andrade?
Oh.
Mark, would you agree that Carousel of Progress is the worst ride at Disney?
Yeah.
See? Yeah, we have a winner. Last question. Fire it up, Dustin.
All right. If you could meet only one character for a picture, who would it be?
Kermit, hands down, every time.
Kermit. Oh, Muppets.
the
It's-
Frog here. Hi-ho.
And so
Who's
by
your favorite
far-
Muppet? Is it Kermit?
Actually, it's Gonzo.
Okay, Gonzo's your
But
favorite?
Yeah.
Kermit just has that iconic.
D-Money, who's yours?
I have 72.
Just pick one.
Kermit. Because
I'm
he's
not-
the only crossover, right?
He was on Sesame Street?
And
Yeah.
Muppets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's the only crossover.
Oh, cool. Okay. I am a Swedish Chef kind of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Bork, 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 bork.
Well, let's tabulate and see if you actually are authenticated.
Eh.
Oh no, he is. He's in. He's legit. Oh, thanks, Tal. And you are welcome to stay and be on the podcast. Hey, you did it. All right, it took us a long time to get here. So, Dustin, why don't we get right into the news?
All right, so the news coming out, just as a little peek behind the counter, we are recording on the day that Disney Plus dropped.
Disney Plus. Disney Plus. It's here.
It's a good
here.
day. It's a good day.
Everything that we have been seeing online, everyone who got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and decided which show they wanted to go and be the first to review. It was either Mandalorian, the Imagineering show,
Or Goldblum.
Yeah, there are all these like unique things that people have been looking forward to, and they're like,
Oh no, I reviewed The Parent Trap. I really messed up.
you know what? I reviewed Brink.
What's
Do you remember
No,
the Disney Channel
No. I don't.
movie Brink?
Keep going.
It's rollerblades.
No.
Okay, you got to go and look. It's okay. It's one of the 7,000 titles.
It's a rollerblading show.
It's a Disney Channel original movie.
And it's called Brink?
It's called Brink.
Not Blades of Wheels.
No, it's called Brink.
Okay, cool. I don't know it.
I've never heard of it either.
I can't wait to check it out on Disney Plus. And I think everybody around the table here jumped in on it. I can't say I did the 5 a.m. thing. It was more like 11, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's today. I had very little problem. I don't want to say it was seamless because it's not true. I downloaded the app on my iPad, and my TV is not a smart TV, so I have a Chromecast. So I'm really mixed up.
Yeah.
So what I have to do is I have to download it onto my iPad or my phone and then push it over to my Chromecast. So I did that today.
Sure.
It's so far so good.
Yeah.
I watched the Imagineering special.
Cool. What'd you think?
It was great. It
Nice.
was great, but it wasn't like anything I hadn't seen before.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all
what I'm
stuff
hearing.
that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tal,
It makes you want to really go and be an Imagineer, though.
Oh, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Like it is cool, but it's like, oh, I kind of know all these stories from YouTube. But
Well-
then again, that's like us.
Yeah.
Like we're looking for that stuff.
When you are an Imagineer, you're no longer in a secret club.
Right.
Back in the day, it used to be Walt's Imagineers. They were the professionals that were taken from the movies and were put into theme parks.
Yeah,
and
it was his
amazingly talented people.
His secret squad. The company was even named WED. It was his name.
Yeah. Now we're going into a different time period where a lot of the Imagineers that are working for the company are contract. So they come and go, and it depends on the project as to how many Imagineers they have.
Yeah.
And they are also spread very thin because you're talking about so many parks and so many things that they have to look after.
Sure, yeah.
So this was kind of a reintroduction into what Imagineering is all about.
Yeah, it's a cool show. And there's a lot of cool shows. It looks like fun. Tal, what was your experience plugging in?
Well, I was going to say you guys are making me a bit jealous because I am one of the unlucky ones that have been trying to subscribe
Yeah.
since
Yep.
7:30 this morning.
Oh, no. What
And
happened?
So every time I go to log in,
Yep.
a beautiful picture of Mickey and Pluto lost
Yeah.
in space shows up.
Oh, no.
You mean you don't have the Wreck-It Ralph?
No, I have not seen the Wreck-It Ralph. It's always been Mickey and Pluto.
So I had the Wreck-It, like when I downloaded the app, I was like, great. This made me set up an information. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Took my money.
Yeah.
No problem taking my money.
Yeah.
And then I went to go, and it was like, sorry. And I got the Wreck-It Ralph logo. And I was like, oh, man, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And then I was just about to write like a crappy Insta post, like, Disney minus. And it started to work. And I was like, oh, the timing was good.
Yeah.
So I have been enjoying it. Do you guys want to take a
Chris
look at
breaks the internet.
this? Yeah, right.
The only thing that's missing from those errors is the first time it happens, it should be Mickey's voice being like, oh.
Yeah.
And then the second should be Goofy.
Yeah.
And then the third time is Donald just swearing a bunch of times.
You-
And the fourth
you
time
mean
is
Goofy?
Bob Iger just saying, look, we don't know how this works. We'll figure
Well,
it out.
it's a mix actually. So let's put this in. So the Goofy one would be so that one, and then after that, then you hit the
I'm surrounded by idiots.
So taking a look here, I got my iPad out.
Ooh.
This is what it looks like. It's pretty
Shiny.
cool. I mean, obviously Mandalorian is front and center, and a lot of the original content is kind of front and center. But if you do some digging, there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm
Like
really
Dumbo.
excited. I want to see Dumbo. I know we talked about it, but
Mr.
I'm
Boogedy?
keen.
Is Mr. Boogedy on there?
Mr. Boogedy is on here.
That's
I saw it. Yeah. Endgame is on here. You got all your Frozens and Avatars, and almost all the Star Wars movies are here. It's just short. The last one and the Han Solo one.
Yeah.
So I guess the last two,
Sure.
if you will. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And good news for you, Dustin. All the Tron shows, Tron Legacy, Tron Uprising, all there for your entertainment.
You know what
and
else is on
research.
there?
What's that?
Brother Bear.
I'll watch
Brother
Brother
Bear
Bear.
2.
I've seen Brother Bear, dude.
Oh.
I have not seen Brother Bear 2.
Okay.
Fair. Have you seen Tron? Don't even need to say it. Have you seen Tron Legacy? Don't even need to say it because I know the answer and it's no.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about those movies for 30 episodes. Well, now that you've subscribed to this, you can go get that.
We'll
Or wait,
see.
have you subscribed to it?
By the time you hear this, I will have subscribed. Well, okay, so here's the thing. When you're looking at the investment that is, you get the 7 days for free, and then you kind of go into that next time period of like, okay, am I going to do the month? Am I going to do the year? There's a lot of stuff within Disney Plus that they did right. It's the new content. It's the ideas that there is so much that you can continue to stream, and that's great. But we're also talking about an investment that will take money away from something else. So do we get rid of Netflix, or do we keep Netflix? And we've got a redistribution of finances that has to, occur. And do we get rid of Netflix, or do we keep Netflix? I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be asking that same question. It depends on the viewer
Yep.
and what their needs are, or the customer. I, for one, will probably keep both
Sure.
because I like to watch movies.
Yep.
And I have kids. The more content, the better. I think what this might do is push me towards losing my cable at some point.
You still have cable?
I do.
Oh,
I like
wow.
sports because I'm a live sports guy. So I like my cable. I like to watch my live basketball, my live hockey.
Reddit.com/NHL streams.
Okay, well, so anything else about Disney Plus we need to uncover?
Well,
Looks cool.
You brought this up with your kids and for viewing, and you're bringing up
Yes.
what does Netflix do? Because will Disney Plus end Netflix? Do you think, to bring us back to theme parks,
Yeah.
just like Universal sort of started changing its target audience and age group by going a little bit more teenager adult
Sure.
in terms of its theming? Do you think Netflix will have to do the same thing and actually go into that kind of
Netflix was the
PG-13
first.
rated
I'll
R?
I'll tell you why they want to abandon the kids' content, because that's the most repeatable. I have kids, and they watch Peppa Pig, My Little Pony, and they watch Octonauts on cycle. They will watch all 5 seasons, and then watch all 5 seasons, and then watch all 5 seasons, constantly streaming,
So they're like
Adults-
me with West Wing.
pretty much. But adults don't do that.
No.
Adults can walk away from the TV. These young kids are TV junkies.
Yeah.
And so every Saturday morning or whatever your parents, I don't want to be critical about how people parent and what screen time they give their children. That's up to them. But I let my kids watch some TV sometimes. They just consume things differently. And I don't think Netflix is going to say, let's leave them behind, because they're a huge portion of, they're the reason, a lot of reasons why people buy Netflix. They're like, my kids want to watch cartoons. There's a zillion cartoons on here that are not Disney cartoons.
Sure.
And now my kids need access. So there's my $12 a month. Thank you very much. I don't need cable.
Yeah.
Because there's a ton of stuff on there. So I don't see them getting away from kids stuff. Will they try to become a little bit more niche, maybe in some other areas? Perhaps. Maybe there's more of a focus on some genre stuff. Maybe there's a more focus on
Well, Netflix
art
is very
house
big
stuff.
about the comedies. So they'll go out and they'll get Jeff Dunham to do 3 or 4 Netflix
like the specials, yeah.
And then they'll
Eddie Murphy's coming in November,
Yep.
which will be
and Chris Rock and all of
That'd be. I'm really pumped for that. If that's a real thing.
yeah, it is.
I'm excited for the third one of the trilogy, because we've had Delirious and
Mm-hmm.
Raw, and then whatever this one's going to be. It's going to be amazing.
Well,
And it's going to be Doolittle.
he will. I don't think he can not do PG-13
No,
stand-up
he's-
comedy. I just don't think it's in his DNA.
Well, he did that with Dr. Doolittle. He did it with Haunted Mansion. I think that would have been that time period where he probably could have got away with it.
But hold on.
Okay.
But we talked about this yesterday on the last pod, Dustin.
Dude, we talk about so much stuff. It's
Eddie Murphy, every actor, this is their arc, okay? They do the thing that makes them uniquely them.
Sure.
The whole world notices, and they go, wow. And then they sell out. And they do.
It's like the Robin Williams, the Nanu Nanu. Then they go through the different peaks and the arcs, and then
Yeah, but Nanu Nanu was how Robin Williams
Or-
launched his career.
or Jim Carrey with his Ace Ventura.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that arc with Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey did a lot of art stuff, and that, like, he really, with the Andy Kaufman stuff and the,
Andy Kaufman was after.
but it was all part of, what's the one where he's in a TV show, like
Truman Show.
He went from these like big comedy picks.
Dude, I know
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
No, I'm just saying, but his arc was different.
Yeah.
A typical arc is like Bernie Mac, same
Sure.
arc. Like Bernie Mac is famous in the comedy world. He's the kings of comedy. Then all of a sudden he's doing the Ashton Kutcher movie. He's doing Mr. Baseball. These movies where he's not really Bernie Mac. When the movie is on
Oh,
his
like
back.
Oceans.
Well, Oceans is more of an ensemble piece, so
Okay.
I'm a little bit less
But Mr. 3000, Guess Who?
Yeah, like
Okay.
those are his movies.
Yeah.
So obviously what's happening is a studio is signing him up to a 3-picture deal, a 4-picture deal. That is typically a cashing in arc where you're
Sure.
making your money, not doing things that are uniquely yours. But now he's coming full circle. Like with Dreamgirls, he was amazing. This is Dolomite just came out. That's awesome. He's doing art house films again. And now going back to his roots and doing stand-up, it's a nice arc that he's not doing the sellout stuff anymore. Anyway,
So does that mean he's going to come back and do Haunted Mansion 2?
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Well,
I still
wasn't-
want Guillermo. I can't even say his name.
Guillermo
What's it?
del Toro.
There we go.
There was talk. I think that's dead. I mean, we haven't heard anything.
It's been alive and dead and alive and dead. It's been killed so many times. It feels like it's one of the 999 ghosts.
I would love for him to pull a Kevin Smith
Yeah.
and throw that script on the internet and let the internet decide. Do you know what I mean? People
Or
like,
Deadpool, where all of a sudden he'll just release 15 seconds of it and be like, you know what? The audience loves it.
come on, Guillermo. Everyone wants that movie.
I
Everyone
thought-
wants that movie.
From what I remember, it was tanked many times. So it was all part of Disney's second thing. So it'd be like, oh, Jungle Cruise. Well, then we can do Guillermo's, run at the Haunted Mansion. Then it was like, oh, well, what about Tomorrowland? Okay, we'll do Tomorrowland. We'll bring in George Clooney. And then like this next big one. And it's just like, you need to give the Haunted Mansion its due. But there's always going to be that sense of we've done it once.
Yeah.
Is there another option like Big Thunder Mountain or...
Well, the good news now is that there's this new platform that Disney has so that they need content for.
Well, Lady and the Tramp is already on Disney Plus.
Yep.
They're no longer doing the theater route, which makes me think that we're getting to this time period where it's no longer about like this huge production thing where you'll go out and you'll spend so much money and, you'll just have that one show. No, you're going to go out and you're going to try and give as much content to these platforms because that's all they care about. You're
Well,
one of 7,000.
I appreciate what they're doing. Something like Lady and the Tramp.
Sure.
I mean, when did that movie come out? The 70s, 60s?
Oh,
So if you're a kid,
it was after Walt passed away.
Yeah, late.
But it was in that time period.
Yeah, the late 60s.
Yeah.
Early 70s. So, but my point is that I think what Disney might be trying to do and using the Disney Plus service as a springboard
Yeah.
is taking these old IPs and shining new light on them. Like Tron, like Condor Man, like all these things you can bring back. And Lady and the Tramp specifically, what a great opportunity. Dumbo, we're seeing these live action movies of really old IPs.
Yep.
Why not to like just pump some new life into them? And so kids and young people can go, oh, that's a cool story.
Yep.
That's a cool character. Maybe I'll buy that shirt. Maybe I'll rent that movie, what have you.
Yeah.
Create more integration into the parks. I see what they're doing. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So maybe the Haunted Mansion movie, the Guillermo del Toro special,
Yeah.
is a Disney Plus thing, or maybe it's a series.
That'd be awesome.
They can do anything. And you know what? People are going to watch it.
Yeah. The Lady and the Tramp was 55.
Oh,
So it was actually before Walt
way
passed
off.
away.
Yep.
But the idea is that we're talking about a franchise, and I don't want to say just this one movie as a franchise, but as soon as you talk about classics in Disney animation, they do kind of fall in together. This is around that area where they were just pumping out so much stuff because 55, that was Disneyland's open, right?
Yeah. Hey, I'm totally digressing here.
Sure.
Jungle Cruise. Let's call it right now. How many more Jungle Cruise movies are they going to make, or is this a one and done?
Oh no, it's going to be so many.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
How many Pirates movies was there?
there was 3. There was
There was
four, I guess.
five. Was
Was there
72?
5? I gave up after the third one.
Oh, they're pretty good. They're all. The last one felt like Johnny Depp was kind of like,
Yeah, but we've talked about that. We've
we
talked
have,
about
we
that Pirates was they go in arches based on who they can sign to a 3-picture deal to support Johnny Depp. So Tal, if you're talking about or looking at the Jungle Cruise and creating an arc that will actually, make people interested in this movie outside of just the one and done, could you do that?
Well, most likely you could. The thing is this is going to be very controversial.
Bring it.
oh, bring it. Why did you whisper that?
Yeah.
This is going to be controversial. Do it.
I never liked Jungle Cruise.
Oh,
You're
get out
not
of
alone.
our podcast.
But no, but that's the thing is
Yeah.
it's
you and Mark.
It's basically people love it
Yeah.
and people hate it.
Yeah.
Dustin, you were on Team Jungle Cruise with me, right?
Yes. So when we were talking about the Jungle Cruise, it was
An
I
armchair
loved
Imagineer, wasn't
yes,
it?
I loved the idea of the live skippers, which was Mark's big skippers are the bane of the existence, which makes sense because there's no continuity. There's no real idea to keep the stories the same. There are some really great skippers, and then you have the rest.
Right.
So I could understand why if you get one of those ones that just you cannot understand them, they're not a trained comedian, they don't have the beats, that makes sense. But we're looking at the idea that if the Jungle Cruise is done well, it's amazing. And I've seen that. I've seen it night and day based on who is performing the spiel.
I'm 0 for 6.
Yeah, I apologize.
I think it's great. I think it's an OG attraction. I loved seeing all the pictures of them trying to build it and
Sure.
driving the car through the laneway. And I don't know, there's something special about it. The fact that they reinvented it tonally so it could be kind of cheesy.
Did the Jingle Cruise hurt it?
I mean,
I think it did.
maybe. I mean, they just threw a bunch of garland and stuff on the ride. I don't think it really did much to plus it. And it was just probably new jokes. There's probably some Christmas decorations and new jokes. Well, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been on that.
I get to do it if we're listening to it tomorrow.
Okay, we get where you're going. I booked my trip too. Do you want to talk about my booking? See, he doesn't want to talk about my booking.
Because he's
I'm
booked
going.
so many trips.
No, but it's
And
done
then-
now. I'm booked.
Uh-huh.
I will be traveling to Disney, to the resort, for 10 days
Okay.
for the January 31st until the 10th.
Oh, wow.
I will be there. And I will
Orlando or Hollywood?
Orlando.
Orlando.
I will
We
be
love
spending-
you, Orlando.
I will be spending most of my time at the Caribbean Beach and then the rest at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I will report back and tell you all about it. Sounds good?
Sounds great. Can you fit me in the suitcase?
I only have small suitcases. You're a tall drink of water, buddy. Well, guys, we've been on the news for a while. We should probably wrap up Disney Plus. Disney Plus, are we all feeling good about it, though? So far, so good?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great.
As soon as
Yeah.
it lets me in, I'll be very happy.
Well, that's that. Was there any other news, Dustin, really, that happened this week?
The one that really struck my eye, which was kind of fun, is that they're doing a full refurbishment of the McDonald's outside of the All-Star Resorts?
No.
So it's the only McDonald's that's left on property after the 10-year McDonald's sponsorship.
All right.
And so they kept this one outside of All-Stars. The refurbishment is basically them going in with giant machines, bulldozers, and tearing it down to the ground and rebuilding it.
But the same restaurant?
Apparently. It's going to be a McDonald's. We thought it was a refurbishment.
Really?
It is flat.
So it's already gone.
It's already gone.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tell a story about that McDonald's?
Sure.
We're all adults, and we all go to Disney or we go to Universal, and we make trips, whether with our friends or with our loved ones. I remember the first kind of adult trip I had. Me and my high school girlfriend went to Disney. We're obviously on a budget, so we stayed at the All-Stars.
Mm-hmm.
I remember not liking it because there was a zillion kids, and I'm there with my girlfriend,
Sure.
But I remember thinking all the food was very expensive in the hotel, even at the All-Stars.
Yep.
And this was in the 90s.
Sure.
So we must have walked to that very McDonald's at least 3 or 4 times in our stay. And I remember it being like super advanced, like for the 90s. It didn't look like a typical McDonald's.
So
Yep,
that was
that's
the original
that's
one.
exactly
So it
the one,
had the
yeah.
giant
Yep.
caricatures on the outside, and then they went to a very, modern, sleek, and now it's a pile of rubble.
When I was a kid, I was a big Minnesota Vikings fan. I'm still
Sure.
a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. They beat the Cowboys the other night. It was nice.
This is hockey, right?
No, this is America's game, baby. This is football. And so I used to wear this purple jacket, I'm a big guy. I wear this big purple jacket. And I remember one day this kid was like, "Hey, Grimace, get over here." I was like, it made me a little sad. But I did like Grimace. He was friendly. I'll be there. I'll have a cheeseburger.
Yeah, so that's the news.
All right. Well, hey, this seems like a good spot to take a break. So we'll be right back with more We Like Theme Parks podcast.
We Like Theme Parks podcast.
Segment time, segment time, segment time.
And we're back on the We Like Theme Parks podcast. So happy you're with us. Did you have a nice little break? Did you go to the bathroom? Did you get a soda? What'd you guys do? Tell us at ideas at WeLikeThemeParks.com. I'd like to hear about it. Tal Aulbrook is here. He is a dear friend of mine, But I will say the one thing that Tal has always talked to me about for years and years of knowing him is, yo, Bondo, I'm going down to my place. I have a place in Disney. I have a timeshare. We go every year. You guys, we gotta figure something out. We gotta get you guys down there. When are you guys going? I think a lot of Disney fans do that. They try to match up their trips. And that's actually what I've done on this next trip I'm going on. I have some friends going on a cruise. When they return from the cruise, we're going to spend 3 days with them. I think a lot of people do that. So Tal, give us a sense of how you do Disney, because I know you don't stay on
property.
Thank you. I know you do your own thing. So I'm kind of interested to just pick your brain on what you do. You can give us a sense of why you think that it's better to maybe stay off property and why the timeshare might be such a great solution.
So the first thing I'll say is there is no right or wrong answer.
Oh, of
here.
course. Yeah.
And well, I'm glad you brought up that you like to go with other Disney passionate fans.
Yeah, I want to go with Dustin real bad.
But I always find, because there's such a way that you always go, like you have a routine.
Absolutely.
Sure,
that
yeah.
everyone always has.
Yep.
So it seems like a good idea on the surface.
Yeah.
Then when you actually get there and the routines don't match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets awkward.
That's a great point.
So I find now that when I bring friends down, it's a lot easier for people that haven't gone before.
Sure.
Because I get to sort of keep my routine, but also be aware of what kind of adventure are you looking for.
Sure.
Because you can have very, very different adventures when you go to Disney.
Right, but the other thing
Universal.
that's great is that you can also become the tour guide.
Yeah.
Oh, you're into this kind of stuff? We should do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And then you're the guy leading the charge, which is kind of cool.
Unless you've changed over the years, you're a marathoner when you go.
I am a marathoner, but I have
all
kids
day,
now, so it's
every
different.
day. Where
Yeah.
I need that day in between to sort of
See, and
let everything go. And
that
then-
is definitely a change of pace depending on who you're down there with. Because like Mark, for example, when he goes down, he usually goes by himself. So it's, solo trips. I do the same thing. Like in June when I was down there for my solo trip, it was rope drop. You're there at, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. You do extra magic hours. You do that crazy morning. And then 11:30, you're back at the resort. And then you shower and that kind of stuff, change into a whole new outfit. And then you're back at the parks because it's all about like not overdoing it, but knowing that you want to go deep into the night.
Dustin, how much clothes did you bring on your trip? If you're changing every day at 11, you would bring like 2 weeks worth of clothes for 1 week?
Usually doing laundry halfway through at the resort.
I don't want to do laundry and I'm on
1
vacation.
o'clock in the morning. I understand,
At
but
1
that's,
o'clock in the morning, you got to be up at 6.
that's how I do it.
You're hardcore, brother.
It's actually when I'm editing photos and everything like that.
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
guess
it's
so,
a
yeah.
different beast. But when you're down there, you were mentioning that you do timeshares.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a difference of distance. So
yeah.
where is your not like exactly where it is, but
Yeah,
tell
give us
me
your
about
address. We'll
Yeah.
swing by, man.
Am I allowed to say it for sponsor reasons?
How's the pool?
I was lucky enough to have parents that did go into timeshare very early.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if people know what timeshare is these days, because timeshare is
Most
kind
people
of
think about
like-
DVC.
Yeah,
They
which-
know what that is, and it is a form of timeshare.
Yeah. Even the package we use today is still the same package we had in '88.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Right, because it's like a 50-year thing, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually, there's our package one that my dad purchased. When they pass away, it actually moves to me and my
Yeah,
brother.
it gets grandfathered.
But doesn't it have like a 50-year window? Isn't that the deal?
No, it goes until I die and my brother dies.
Oh, wow. It's getting a little dark.
Yeah.
So
legacy stuff.
But since we had it in '88, that's why I've gone so much.
Yeah.
And Vistana Sheridan. Now over the years, it's been taken. Marriott's taken over. And
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
So it's a 3-minute drive to Disney.
Okay.
It's
great.
in Kissimmee, so
Yeah.
it's you can hear the fireworks.
Yeah.
Happening over at Epcot. Over time, things have changed.
Sure.
So and this also goes back to what I was saying before with needing that day of rest. We've always stayed off park. I think that in your DNA, if you go to Disney and you're staying in the rooms, it's Disney all the time.
Yeah, you're in
and
the
that's
bubble.
kind of all you know. Where if you're off property and you have that kind of your own space and you go into it, you go really hard for that day, but then you go back and you go back to your room where things aren't as Disney or Universal. But in terms of travel, Uber has changed everything in terms of parking, because the parking rate's $25, $30
Yeah.
every time you go in.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
to
pricey.
park your car.
Just to park the car.
And an
Now
Uber
that
is $9.
It's $9. And a lot of times, especially when you go during competitive times, they have discounts of 30, 40% off. And as you get older, you have a few drinks as well. You don't have to worry about having a DD or whatnot
Yeah.
as well if you're going to want to go travel the world at Epcot. And then even Universal still only 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And interesting enough, they've even implemented where the Uber pickups and drop-offs are.
Yeah.
Is actually very close to the gate.
Now, do you know the hidden tip at the Magic Kingdom?
Tell us, Dustin.
The hidden tip.
Yeah. So the tip is you take the Uber to the Contemporary Resort, and then you walk across the street. So the idea is
You
that
got to be sneaky. You got to be sneaky,
no,
Dustin.
all you do is you say, like, because the Uber driver is going to have to show ID and that kind of thing to get into the drop-off area, and all you do is say, hey, we're going to the Contemporary for breakfast.
What I've learned in Uber is I actually go to Epcot first, because they actually drop you off right in front of Epcot, right in the front doors.
Yeah, so as every park has its own different
Yeah.
randomness, if you search in Epcot and Uber, it actually takes you to backstage. But if the Uber talk is always fun because Chris hates Uber.
No, I hate it. I don't like paying for stuff I don't have to pay for.
Yep, makes sense, 100%.
Skyliner.
What we do for Uber is it's all about having that budget. If you're staying off property, you know what that difference between your room versus that Disney room.
Dustin, how much is an Uber from Hotel X?
Sure.
I know it depends on where you're staying.
Yeah, like I'm staying at Holiday Inn Disney Springs.
But you're okay. Well, let's say from Disney Springs. How much of an Uber is that? $10 bucks?
$9 Uber ride from Disney Springs to the Contemporary.
Okay.
All the
cool.
other ones are $7.
And then if you take an Uber back, it's another $10. Let's call it, right?
Uber is the last ditch decision.
Yep.
The only reason to use an Uber is when there isn't a free option right in front of you.
Right.
Including at the end of the night after fireworks. If you walk to the buses and you see that it's crazy outside, just walk over to the Contemporary. If there isn't a bus to Disney Springs or wherever you're going, then Uber. But when you're on property, once you get onto property, you're in the bubble. You can do the Skyliner, you can do all the buses, everything like that. But just know that as soon as the timer on the buses reach about 15 minutes, that 15 minutes is going to cost you a lot of money by way of your overall expense for the vacation.
Dustin made a really interesting path for you, which is I go for rope drop, I go home, I go back, and then I'm sure you go return late. There is no scenario where you go home and come back. I don't think if you're driving. Like, I think once you leave, you leave.
We actually had a bigger issue going back to the resort when we were staying at All Stars because of just the way that the buses, internal buses work in the midday.
Right.
There just aren't that many of them.
Right.
So if you're dealing with traffic and that kind of thing, why wouldn't you? And we're specifically talking about timeshares that are focused around Disney. Well, a lot of those are within spitting distance of the parks. So why would you go and rent a car when you can take the Uber from the airport to your resort, which is going to cost you about $30, and then take it back, which is going to cost you $25, because the pickup, they add an extra $5 charge on it.
Well, speaking of spending money, because again, I've never stayed on Disney or Universal Hard Rock.
Well, yeah, because
Nothing.
you've been doing
Never.
that all
That's
your
all you
life.
know.
That's all
Yeah.
I know. So I always hear that once you're in the bubble, that the expenses of food every day. So I know there's packages you can get that has all inclusive meals, correct? If you
There-
get certain rooms or whatnot.
The Disney dining plan is a product, and as a product, there are good and bad dollars. But like most people who go down to the parks, they do exactly what we all do, which is you usually don't end up eating breakfast, or you bring a Walmart breakfast with you, like a Pop-Tart or something like that.
Granola bars.
And then
Cliff
you have
bars.
an earlier lunch, like 11:30, which tides you over until a mid-afternoon snack.
Yeah.
And then you have your dinner usually around, depends if you do an earlier one, a 5 or a 7. The idea behind the Disney dining plan is all about if you do steaks, you're good. If you're like my partner Jill, who is vegetarian, that is a bad deal. Oh, when you're at the timeshare.
At the timeshare,
it's about dollars.
It's about dollars, but it's also about space, because my unit has 2 bedrooms. So
But you also have a kitchen.
a full kitchen.
See, that's the difference. Because if you're staying at a timeshare, you can do one grocery run.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly we always go
Sandwiches.
and we always there's always a bet of how much money we're going to spend on the groceries
Yep.
in terms of it. But that's a huge element.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
basically our breakfast and lunches are taken care of.
Yep.
So what we do is breakfast and lunch at the condo,
Yep.
and we go for dinner.
Now, do you
for
go to
dinners.
Publix or Walmart?
We go to Publix.
Okay, so
Publix
Yeah, but if you're at a
usually.
park, you're going to eat at the park. Right?
100%.
You're not packing a lunch.
But you get up and have a breakfast to start.
Yeah.
Sure. So you're not starving, and then you get there, and then
it's-
maybe have a later lunch.
Well, you get toast and you get like eggs, whatever you
yeah,
want.
whatever. They could have like whatever.
And I'm
they
sure
want.
you guys are the same way. You make sure you eat, and so you're hungry at 2 p.m. and not at noon and waiting in those lines because
Right.
time is money.
Yeah.
you bring snacks. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure it's set to,
Yep.
guys, we're
What
having
are,
lunch
what,
at 2
what are
o'clock.
some of the other fringe benefits of staying in a timeshare?
Well, the big other element that a lot of people don't think of when they stay at a timeshare is because they always say, well, you stay at the park, you get magic hours. The
Sure.
tickets have magic
Yep.
hours. The parks, like my resort offers that. I have to do.
Oh, so you guys get extra magic hours?
Yeah.
Do you also get the 60-day fast pass?
So it depends on when you get the tickets.
Okay.
But you have to do the sit down.
Yep.
But for mine, it's called an owner's update,
Ooh.
which ends up being offer after offer after offer.
Yeah.
But the last time I did it, it was $500 bucks cash
Cool.
plus about 40% off tickets.
Wow.
And that was what, a 2-hour?
An hour. So me and my wife just went and got a coffee.
Yep.
Went and sat down and said no to all the offers. And $500 cash
Yep.
with the discounted tickets with magic hours.
Yep.
It's funny. I did that recently on a Disney cruise.
Yep.
The DVC guys, they got me and they're like, you have a meeting. I'm like, yeah. They're like, we'll give you like $50 and a pin.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. But I was like, I'm generally interested. How much is this going to cost? And then I was like, oh boy, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not getting this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I wasn't interested. It was because like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So when you were saying, and when Dustin says the difference between 1988 timeshare pricing and something like now, it's a lot different. So it's really easy for you guys to go, yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Getting in now is not as
Because our timeshare,
Cheap.
we have 3 weeks every year.
Right.
And if we don't use it, we sell them.
Yeah.
The advantage is pretty significant. Basically, come the food part. Food,
Yeah.
I think, is the biggest savings.
Sure.
On top of the space, because every time I've seen photos of the rooms that are offered at Disney, it's
Yeah.
basically a hotel room
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
where we have 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, a living room. It's bigger than my place where I live.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm just thinking about my personal arc, being a Disney guy and going down to the parks like I used to go when I was a kid. I don't remember where we would stay because I was a kid. And then I, started going in high school by myself. And because I didn't have a lot of money, I would stay in the values. And I like the values are fine. I actually like the values now because I have kids. But then because I didn't have kids, I didn't care for them. And then what we started to do was rent houses.
Sure.
You could rent a house with 2 or 3 bedrooms and your own pool that has the gates around it so the gators don't get you or have naps in your pool. And same thing, we get up, we go to the Walmart, we buy groceries, we'd make breakfast, we'd come home, we'd play board games. And I liked that. And I did that a few times, like 2 or 3 times I would go with friends and we'd rent a house and drive in and pay for parking. I was pretty satisfied with that. Rent a car, that gives you the flexibility to eat off property, which is cheaper.
CC's Pizza, $3.99 buffet.
There it is. But then finally I went again and I stayed on property and I was just like, there just feels like there's a different connection when you're in the bubble. It
Sure.
just feels different. Knowing that there's constantly an activity. Like I can go home and eat in a kitchen at home.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm just giving you the devil's the flip of the coin here. Now, if cost is the only thing that you're really getting by staying there, there you go. That's the information. Then either,
Well, it's the fact that someone gets to do the 3 weeks or however many weeks you want. That translates into how much your tickets are. 10 days in the parks is the break even for an annual pass.
right, of course.
So if you're going down there for 3 weeks, you're going to get that annual pass.
Right,
now,
right.
it didn't help that Disney upped their annual pass this year over $300.
Star Wars, you can
Yes.
thank Star Wars.
So renting the house, I understand what you're saying because it's basically you're just going home.
It was
Yeah.
cheap. It was really cheap too.
Well, especially when you're splitting it between 3 families.
Yeah. It was like 4 people in it.
Yeah.
But the timeshare resort, it still has that kind of hotel feeling.
Sure.
Right.
Because, there's 5 different restaurants.
Well,
at
it's a
the resort you
Marriott.
go
It's a
to.
Sheraton, right?
You have, there's a swimming pool right in the back. There's
Yeah.
a hot tub right in the back. Like, if you have kids, there's family events going on in there. And everyone around you is also there to go to Disney. So
Yeah.
you still have that kind of Disney excitement happening in the air when you
Yeah.
go.
But what you're talking about is that sense of neighborhood. And a lot of folks who go down for timeshare, they want to also be like, hey, we see the same people year after year. Our place is still reasonable. It's good pricing, good value.
This isn't going to Florida.
Yeah.
This is like going to the cottage.
Yes.
Right.
It's home there, very familiar.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of feel when you go there. On
This
top
is
of
my hot tub.
so you, yeah, so it's kind of you have that feel like so when you go to Disney, you feel you're at Disney.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're there for the experience. Where you go to the timeshare, which you've had for many years.
Yeah.
It's home, plus you get to go to Disney.
Just finishing up, because I know that a lot of people will have questions. I'm going to play devil's advocate because it's really fun. What are the top 2 things about a timeshare, and what are the bottom 2 things? What are 2 things that, after all these years of going down, are the negative?
So the top 2 things I think I've already nailed.
Yep.
The
So
first
cost,
one,
time.
Cost is the big one.
Yeah.
And the second one, it's kind of like that South Park episode where it's
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a little place in Aspen. I have a little place in Florida.
Yeah.
Without the cost of actually purchasing
Yeah.
and worrying about all the taxes, and those are the top 2 things.
Yeah.
Now, Chris nailed it already about the downside of it is you want to go Disney. You want to go Disney.
Sure.
And have that experience of it's never happened to me, but Goofy taking your stuff to your place, or
Yeah, Goofy, bring my stuff.
you call
Goofy,
down
bring my
and
stuff to
it's-
my room.
Yeah. That whole feel.
Give me a sandwich.
And the second and the thing with timeshare is also depending on who you go with, owners can change.
Very true.
Right.
So just because you purchased it now,
Mm-hmm.
6 years from now, it may not be the same. And we just got lucky with ours. I've heard horror stories of other ones where it completely shut down.
Oh, for sure.
All that money you paid, bye-bye, gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, so it's a bit of a risk.
It's a
in
risk.
some ways, yeah.
So
Well, I just feel like the difference is though is that you've only done this,
Yeah.
and you've only done this thing, and I've done both.
Yeah.
You know, I've experienced what I think to be both, like renting a place as opposed to not necessarily a timeshare, but you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
staying out of the parks, having to drive in every day, having your own personal space, having an opportunity to get away from the Disney bubble.
The bubble. Yeah.
And I find that I like being in the bubble better than being out of the bubble. But I can respect that that's not everybody. Everybody's are going to have a different sensibility of what pleases them and their family
Sure.
and everyone's needs. So I could see that. But the one thing that's kind of interesting that you flag is that the idea that you're going to the same place, that it feels like it's your backyard, that there's a comfort zone, and that's worth something, most certainly. Every time I go to Disney, because I'm on property typically, it's a crapshoot, and I try to stay at hotels I've never been at.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't really
Where for
know
me, I
what I'm
stopped
getting
doing
myself
that.
into.
Like we stopped trying different hotels, because as soon as you like something, you like it, and then you start building around that. Like for Jill and I, when we go and do, like on the last show, we talked about splurges and things that are worth it, and it's like, well, if you're going down and you're staying at a property off-site, like a Disney Springs resort or one of the other resorts on iDrive or something like that, that price point in between staying on property and staying off property could be used to possibly do a Victorian Albert's, a California Grill, maybe a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Like you're getting to the point where your kids are starting to be like, oh, I want to be a princess.
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's going to be an $80 package for one. And then you're like, oh, I have to get 2.
See, what I do, Dustin, is I don't buy it at Disney. I buy it at Walmart or on eBay or
Yeah.
on Amazon, and I pay half the price.
Well, yeah,
That's what I do, sir.
You buy your the costumes the week after Halloween.
That too.
And
that
you're good.
works. That works. Yeah, I just think you got to try both and see what works for your family.
I was going to
and-
say, absolutely. It's all about what you want in your trip. Being in the bubble makes it a little bit more difficult. I don't want to say it's impossible, and it's just like anything else,
Yep.
but it makes you feel like you can get to that outside Disney a lot easier.
Yeah. And Universal is becoming more of a bubble itself.
Yes.
So there's a different layer. So if you go to like Visit Orlando to the website and just see like, oh, what else is in there? You have the, NASA, you have everything, Legoland, and so much within that area that there is more to see than just Disney. I don't like that, but that's just me. That's
But you
'cause
also go for 2 weeks, you said, right?
Yeah,
So that, I mean, how many times in 2 weeks are you going to go to the Disney parks?
every day.
So
7 a.m.
What pass do you usually buy?
So I usually get the 7-day pass.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you get all 4 parks for 7 days.
Okay.
And it's a hopper.
Do you do do you go through Costco? Do you go through Undercover Tourist?
So no, this is through my resort.
Oh, so they have their discounted tickets.
So it's, Disney's not as discounted as much as Universal.
Yeah.
But again, last time I was there, I think it was about 30% off
Okay.
the 7-day
Oh, wow. At Disney?
at Disney.
That's really good.
You also get discounted Universal, which is even a bigger discount. So I also get the 7-day Universal.
Oh.
And here's the other caveat: is if it's unlimited, it's not one set of tickets.
Yeah.
If I have 10 guests come in, you can go 10 times and buy those tickets.
So that's timeshares. There's so many ways that people do their own vacations. And if you have a tip, if you have a route that you go personally, that this is where we buy our tickets, this is the timeshare that we went to, just shoot us an email, ideas@welikethemeparks.com, and we'll definitely take it into a further discussion, because this is something that anytime we're talking about dollars and cents, hotels and food are the two biggest things that keep coming up. So let us know what you guys think.
Well, that was fun. I love segments. So let's do another, shall we? It's about that time where we retire an attraction.
Retire me!
Yeah, it's way better when you fire it as opposed to me putting it in later because I'm lazy. Welcome to another edition of Retire Me, and today we're going to do Islands of Adventure. But before we do that, we have to tip our hat and make a little bow to our great friends at Theme Park Alchemy. Dustin, tell us a little bit about our sponsor.
Yeah, so Theme Park Alchemy, they are a lifestyle brand. They do candles. They do theme park inspired merchandise. So things like candles based on the Jaws attraction or King Kong at Universal, all the Harry Potter stuff. They also have a ton of stuff surrounded by Haunted Mansion. And I'm just a big fan of introducing our audience, who are all focused around theme parks, to companies that are in the same mind frame. So head over to themeparkalchemy.com, use our promo code WeLike15 to save 15% on your purchases.
Yeah, check this stuff out, guys. It's really cool. I know I'm about to do some of my Christmas shopping, and I think shark bait will be in a lot of stockings this holiday season. Or maybe banana breath. Oh, tough call. Check it out on themeparkalchemy.com, and you know that promo code, WeLike15. But guys, we got to retire an attraction, and I'm feeling like retiring it right now.
Okay.
Islands of Adventure.
Poseidon's Fury?
No, that attraction rocks. That attraction is so beautiful aesthetically when you walk by. Oh, it's stunning and it's massive. I love it. All right, Dustin, give me your retire me for this week.
So the one that needs to go away is the Flight of the Hippogriff.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
tell us why.
The idea behind this attraction originally was that it was the flying unicorn.
That's right. It's tied into Merlin?
It was
Merlin
tied
Wood?
into the dueling dragons.
Okay.
So it's right outside. It was one of those attractions that you would go on because there was never a wait. Very similar to the Barnstormer at
kids
Disney.
coaster.
It's kids
Yeah.
coaster. So it was perfectly fine, and it was exciting for kids, and it was like, okay, this is all fine and dandy. Well, I'm sorry. Flight of the Hippogriff doesn't need to be there. They can do so much more. They reskinned it to Harry Potter. They literally put an audio animatronic in the queue, and as you're going into the train, leave the station, and Buckbeak bows to you, and that's all fine and dandy, but it wasn't a Harry Potter attraction to begin with. They skinned it, and what's even worse is then they duplicated it around the world.
That is, yeah, they did do that.
And it's like,
kind of stinks.
It's almost like why the Simpsons ride has a little bit of a thing in the back of my head. I'm like, no, it was Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It was a reskin, and then you traveled it around the world.
Yeah.
So I think my retire me is flat out the Flight of the Hippogriff and the Flying Unicorn.
I always space on the name of that land. What is it called again? The
Lost Continent?
Thank you. The Lost Continent. It was half of it was the whole Poseidon's Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was kind of the Sinbad section was kind of like a bazaar.
Yep.
And then they had Merlin Wood. And Merlin Wood was this amazing, like, I think it was not a restaurant, but maybe was it a restaurant? It was in the tree. There was a big tree. Come on, the big face of the tree. It was like a stump of a tree.
I know what you're saying. It wasn't a restaurant per se that I remember. It was a rest stop that...
No, I'm pretty sure it was a dining place. And it was an area called Merlinwood, and the whole story with Merlin was there was a story attached to the Dueling Dragons where Merlin was kind of telling you that the tale of the Dueling Dragons. And remember inside that Merlin would, through the pane glass windows, the like the colored windows, Merlin would tell you the story. And I think that there was also a tie-in to the unicorn, the flying unicorn. It was all Merlin wood.
So Merlinwood was the Lost Continent once had a third section known as Merlinwood, exactly what Chris is saying, which held flying unicorn, dueling dragons coasters. The entire area was demolished for the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
With the history of it, I think that just boils down to the fact that the only thing that was left was Flight of the Hippogriff.
Yeah.
And it needs to go away.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's a good one, Dustin. Yeah. All right, Tal, you're up, buddy.
Oh, this is a tough one.
It is.
So easy, though. There's so many different...
Well, Poseidon's Fury is kind of the obvious.
Well, be careful.
Well,
Be-
the only thing about it is that it is a
That
good
it's
people
amazing?
eater. No, it's a good people eater.
but it's also cool. Super cool. Go on.
So I just want to make sure I have the rules right. Does it have to be one attraction, or can it be an entire area?
Ooh, what are you going to
You
do?
blow up whatever you want to blow up, man.
Going to take out Toon Lagoon?
No, actually,
Oh.
I think Toon Lagoon is perfect for hot summer days, and I think you need that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you need it. It's also like Popeye's a people eater as well. You need those attractions that just has people go to if it's a hot day. Get there.
Can you explain what the Dagwood sandwich is?
Never had one. So.
Chris? Dagwood?
I haven't eaten it. Have you?
Oh, yeah.
It's good. What is it?
It's huge. It's part of when you go through Toon Lagoon. There's a couple of
There's like comic.
yeah.
restaurants.
It's all comics from the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, but
I
what's
thought
the
that it was
sandwich?
gonna work.
You're asking us what the sandwich is when you know what it is. Tell us.
Well, the sandwich has like 72 things on it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's a
Did
solid.
you eat it? Did you eat it?
Well, yeah, it
And
seemed like
eat
a
the
good
whole
idea at
thing?
the time. No,
Did you share it with somebody?
no.
So would this be something that we could do together?
We could probably do that.
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice. Then Dustin and Bondo eating
Yeah.
a sandwich. Dagwood. All right, let's nuke your land.
So believe it or not, Marvel Land.
Well,
I
the
think-
good people at Disney would be thrilled.
Well, and that's the element that I think is because Disney owns Marvel now.
Yeah.
How much more can Universal do with Marvel?
Yeah.
Now I know with the rights, Disney can have like Guardians, but they can't call it Marvel. And there's a lot of we don't know the exact rules of the contracts. It's kind
We've
of,
seen
Oh yeah,
the
we do.
contracts.
We've seen it.
we've
On the
seen it,
show,
but
we've looked at the
we looked at the
contract.
contract.
There's two trains of thought, and I think one of them is a tree that you're barking up, which is if you're going to lose this anyway, why are you investing time and energy into it when maybe it could be something else that's your own? But the truth is that
It makes
Disney,
nothing but money.
It makes nothing but money for them for no work because the Disney is the one pumping millions and millions into this IP. And then on the left coast, it's the only, or sorry, on the right coast actually is where you can actually see them. You can't see them in Florida anywhere else. So why not you go see it at Universal? I think if anything, they'd invest more as long as they could. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I do agree with the idea of the land because outside of Spider-Man, which you yourself said,
It's fantastic.
It's your
Best
favorite
ride.
ride. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so are you getting rid of like the drop?
So I think it's not so much.
Or is it a
of
reskin?
I think it's a reskin.
Okay.
It's mostly rebranding. Star Trek would be the one that they would license out to put in that land instead.
Okay.
The rumor I read,
Yeah.
which kind of thing made me go, yeah, get rid of it.
Sure.
That they would actually keep Spider-Man because of all the licensing reasons. So that would stay there.
Yeah.
And then everything else would be rebranded and gone and making a sci-fi land with Star Trek, which to me would blow my mind away.
Yeah.
The tough thing is being that Star Trek is, I think, a damaged franchise at this point.
I don't know about that.
I think they've gone down the rabbit hole one too many times.
There's a lot of rabbit holes, that's for sure.
And I,
Do you actually remember Star Trek was there?
Yeah, we talked about that.
sure, yeah.
I thought you said
but-
you listened to this pod, man. We talked about that. That's how I told my story about doing it.
Yeah.
About being on video and saying your lines?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did listen.
Yeah.
Oh, you're wonderful.
But I was just, this could be a new person listening.
If anyone wants to,
Ah, you're right.
if anyone wants to come on a future show, all you have to do is be a fan of the show and just
That's
send us
all
a
it
note.
takes. Be like, I like your show. I listen. But the thing is, a Star Trek is it's a IP that everybody knows right away. And if you go to there is a core audience already. And the reason why we're seeing all these different iterations is because of that core audience. So maybe if you go back to the root and you provide a new attraction or a new something that's worth seeing, yeah, I think it could have some legs. What's weird to me about your pitch is And again, this isn't an armchair Imagineering. This is just to retire me. You're just saying wipe this area out. But a sci-fi land isn't really kind of fit with the theming of the whole park.
I don't think Star Trek would take second fiddle. I don't think that they would sign an agreement. They'd basically have to
Have its own
recreate the Enterprise, and it would have to be a Avatar style deal.
We've talked about this before. I keep saying this, but if you go fire with fire, you got Star Wars, we got Star Trek. You got Marvel,
Yeah.
go get DC and get Batman in
Yes.
there and make that
But you know
Metropolis.
that was supposed to be the first
That
one.
was the-
I know
that
it
was
was
going to
yeah.
be.
It was supposed to be Looney Tunes and DC.
Yeah.
So what happened with the DC thing?
Oh, it was a
was all money?
dollar per. Yeah, exactly. It was all about the price points.
Yeah, but how much of a mistake was that now on DC's?
Everything's a mistake. You remember the stories about how Universal had the inner track to actually buy SeaWorld.
Oh yeah.
And it was almost a done deal, but they needed a little bit more money because they had another company come in and, outbid. And Sid Sheinberg was just like, well, I don't bid. Here's what I'm willing to pay. And I can't remember the group, it was out of Germany, I believe, came in and basically scooped up that land. And Universal had to spend so much more money to go and buy where they are right now with Epic Universe that they could have had SeaWorld on top of that like 20 years ago.
Was SeaWorld that much closer?
Well, it's the land that's valuable. And it's in between Epic Universe and...
So it's closer.
It's like across the street and down a little bit.
Okay.
So it's not too bad.
Okay.
But Universal made a lot of mistakes early on into how they negotiated. They
Right.
basically had to see how Audrey Geisel was that was kind of that and Harry Potter. They were all about, negotiating with the creators and negotiating with the families themselves.
Yeah.
And you can see Marvel Island going away. That isn't out of the realm of possibility when you're talking about how much money could possibly be made if Disney had a Marvel Land. I think they're testing it out on the West Coast. If that is as profitable as it's going to be, I could see them writing a blank check to Universal and being like, we want that.
And this is why I chose Marvel, because when I go there now, I can feel it not being
It's
propped up.
Disney.
It's like Universal have almost stopped adding things to it. They refurbished Hulk a couple years ago, but when you're there, it feels just like it's here.
You know the rumor about the Hulk was that was going to be turned into the Wizard of Oz.
I did not hear that one.
Okay, so do a deep dive. Do your homework with the rumors because there's so many of them. But
they're just that rumors.
Well, exactly, and we try not to talk about rumors because they change so often.
All right. Well, I guess I'll wrap it up here, and because we're living in the same space. I mean, really, I'd get rid of Reign of Kong if I could have my druthers, but that ain't going anywhere. So I'm gonna go with the Doctor Doom Fearfall. Yeah,
Okay.
It's just such an off-the-rack attraction. I mean, it's okay. And they've done a really nice job taking an off-the-rack attraction and giving it some kind of theming. The whole storyline.
By the way, that took serious skill. Off the rack attraction. Say that 4 times fast.
Off-the-rack attraction?
Yeah.
Off-the-rack attraction. Off-the-rack attraction.
Okay, say Mickey and Minnie's Railway Runaway.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Ooh.
It was close.
Unique New York.
Unique New York. Oh, I can't do that
Unique you dork. Unique you dork.
Yeah. But they've done a really cool job creating what was the name of the country, the fictional country? I can't think of that. Anyway, like Doctor Doom is from this fictional country.
Sure.
It's funny. I don't even know what happens in that story because there's never a lineup.
There's never a
I just
lineup. You walk right through
so
it. The
I
idea is
missed the
that
entire thing.
is that they're like sucking the fear out and they use it as energy.
Yeah, and then they trick you.
And then you get on the thing and it fires up really fast and then it slowly goes down. Why doesn't it fire up real fast and fire it going down? I have no idea why. But it's kind of lame. It's just super lame. So it's got to go.
Yep.
It's got to go. As far as the whole land goes, I still feel like they're going to run the course. They're going to prop up Marvel as long as they can. So what could they do with that? I think you reinvest and you go for broke with this Marvel thing.
Yeah.
And maybe you make something different. But for my money, that ride is just pretty tired. And like you said, it's literally a walk-on. It's almost something like, oh, Spider-Man's busy. Do Do you want to do Doctor Doom?
Exactly. That
You know,
conversation
do you
happens.
want to, like, that happens every trip. Do
Every
you want to
trip.
go on it?
You walk
Not
right
really?
past and you're like, oh, why did I do this?
The funnest thing to see on the Doctor Doom ride is when you go up and you come back down, all the like gum and like hair ties that people have thrown onto the ledge, because you just walk into what's neat about it is you just walk into this little area, you know, the little room.
Yeah.
And
We're just talking because there's really not a lot of room back there. Because there used to be an expansion pad right on the other side of the road, but that turned into the hotels.
the lands that they have at Islands of Adventure are pretty solid. Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, comic books, Marvel.
I think comic books is weak.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I
It's
mean,
the spot in Islands, and keep in mind, I love Islands. I love the Wizarding World. I love Jurassic Park, but
it's the. I know what you're saying, but it's that I'm trying to think of the name. Popeye
Yeah.
and
Dudley
Dudley
Do
Do-Right.
But when they
are
could have-
are animated by the same.
yeah, but when they could have had
Whatever.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah. I guess it was just cheaper. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. That's a Jim Hill question.
I'll ask him as we're
Yeah,
walking around.
Yeah, sure. Hey, why not Looney Tunes? But I tell you that I like the Popeye stuff. I loved the Dudley Do-Right.
Have you been on the
ride.
Popeyes?
I haven't in a while. I've definitely
I've never been on
Oh, it's
because you get soaked.
You get soaked.
but that's what I mean when on those hot days it's perfect. But
yeah, but the Dudley Do-Right, you also get hammered
oh,
with
yeah.
water. Yeah,
Dudley
it's great.
Do-Rights is still my favorite spot. You go and you get, I think you take a $5 bill, you put it into the tokens thing, and you go and find the spot right on the bridge.
Yeah.
You find the best jet of water that is like behind somebody's head. It's usually number 2. And then you go and you put the token in, you press and the water comes out and shoots them right as they're like, oh, I'm finished. I'm taking my poncho off.
and you get them.
Such a Dustin thing to do.
Oh, it's great.
But see, I
Just
even
gonna
love
zap this guy.
There's a lot of stuff within Islands of Adventure. I think that this is not the last retire me
Yeah.
for Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
I think we could easily do a armchair Imagineering.
Yeah, I just feel like all these lands are pretty firm. The ones that are clunky and weird is King Kong is weird because it's
Sure.
just
It's not a
it's not a
an
land.
island.
It's just a
Yeah.
welcome to King Kong. It's just here. And then the Lost Continent it's like probably when it first opened, it was my favorite because it was so unique and original.
Yeah, it wasn't themed
It wasn't-
around anything.
No,
it wasn't
was just
an
a
IP.
collection of these cool mythological
Yep.
concepts, and it was super fun.
Sure.
And as Harry Potter moves further south and eats up more of that footprint, there's going to be a day where we're going to lose
Oh, it's going away. Absolutely.
Poseidon's Fury, which is
Yeah.
a bummer because it's a great attraction.
It is what it is.
All right, guys, you know we're doing a Retire Me, and that means we are sponsored by our good friends at Theme Park Alchemy. So to celebrate, we want to bring on Sean from Theme Park Alchemy. Sean, what's up?
How's it going, fellas? How are y'all doing?
Great. Happy Disney Plus Day,
Disney Plus Day.
It is Disney Plus Day. It's the greatest day of the year.
right?
Oh, it's almost as good as the
I don't
Star
know,
Wars.
Christmas?
No, what's the Star Life Day.
Life Day.
It's like Life Day.
Life Day, which got a shout out.
I was about to.
on The
I was.
Mandalorian.
I didn't want to give it away. Yeah, I got a shout out on Mandalorian. I couldn't believe it.
Sorry.
But
I
how
stole your
cool?
thunder.
Well, Sean, we won't talk too much about it because poor Dustin over here doesn't have Disney Plus yet. What a wiener!
It's gonna
What?
happen.
I know, right?
Hey, there is a reason behind it, and you know at the
yeah,
end
he
of the
wanted to
day,
steal mine. That was it. He was
Yeah.
like, "Can I borrow your login?"
No,
this
so-
guy.
because we're heading down for the Universal Joint show, and then sticking around in Walt Disney World until I think the 21st or so. It didn't make sense for us to burn our free week before, but then again, you know, it is what it is. You know what? It wasn't my decision, and I don't mean to throw Jill under the bus, but it's a family decision that was not made by me.
Yeah. But I won't. We won't get specific. But Sean, how many cool throwback Easter eggs to like the original trilogy was there today? That was so exciting.
So many.
I know,
So
right?
many. For a bunch of stuff and a bunch of characters that are brand new, it felt like the most familiar thing I've ever seen.
Couldn't agree more. It was so great. Yeah, all these little bits and pieces, and even things that you don't even think about, like little bumps. So great. I don't want to get into it because poor Dustin doesn't
appreciate
know.
that.
But they already with the Life Day drop, which happened like right at the beginning of the show. I was like, come on.
It could have been a throwaway line. Like if you're not paying attention or you're not aware of the holiday special, you have no idea what that character is talking about. it really felt like they wove in things that if you are a lunatic like me,
Yeah.
you're going to catch so much that is happening there behind, like underneath the main story. And yet the main story itself is also super captivating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau.
The man is a genius.
He's legit. He knows his stuff. It feels like we're getting a Star Wars that we want. It's really exciting. But today is not only about Disney Plus. We're going to retire an attraction. And Sean, I know you're the king of Universal. And we're going to retire an attraction from, what park is it again, Dustin?
So we're retiring from Islands of Adventure.
Whoa.
And
Let me
what
knock
did we
off the
retire?
attractions. Let me pitch the attractions to you, Sean, that have already been destroyed, exploded, whatever, from Islands of Adventure. I feel like if you want to tank one of the same ones and you agree, then you're welcome to do whatever you like.
Sure.
But we've bowled over the Doctor Doom Fearfall.
Gone.
We've wiped out all of Marvel Land. We've destroyed the Flight of the Hippogriff. Was Dustin's.
Yeah.
Sean, if you're going to tank something at Islands of Adventure, set something on fire, buddy. So knock something over, bulldoze it. What do you got?
You know, originally I was going to go with Dr. Doom's Fearfall, but I feel like that's obviously the low-hanging fruit that's already been knocked off the list. So I'm going to go to my second.
Okay. That was mine. You don't have to be, come on.
But it was low hanging fruit. It was that
low-hanging-
and Flight of the
But it
Hippogriff.
stinks. It's a brutal ride. It's an off-the-shelf carnival ride now. Like,
Right, it's a Six Flags ride. It doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Right.
So my next one would be the Popeye and Bluto's Build-A-Rat Barkas.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
Tell us why.
Let's honestly, how relevant is Popeye
Fact.
in 2019? And most of that area, the United Feature Syndicate, feels just so. I mean, it was dated when it was new.
Yep.
It's even more dated now, in which I don't even know how relevant United Features is in general. And so bringing these characters out, there's a possibility that you could get a Popeye resurgence. I know he's still popular. They're still releasing toys, but that ride in and of itself and the Popeye theming, there's nothing about it that I find interesting. I'm also not a big water ride person, so unless I'm at a water park.
Yeah.
So that's going to kind of knock it right out. And then you mix it in kind of a land that I'm very ambivalent about with a character that I'm kind of a solid meh on.
Yep.
It's an easy retire that for me.
No, I have to agree with that only because, and we were talking about it earlier, and you'll hear it on the show, how the fact that they do have the two water rides right next to each other. One of them is a full-fledged water ride. The other one feels like you're just going for a shower. And the last thing you want to do is go on a ride where all you're having done to you is have water dumped on you. In Florida, when it's incredibly hot, all you're going to do is walk around in your soaked clothes being like...
I don't know. We live in the cell phone generation. I don't want to get wet. I don't want my phone get wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Well, it's Universal. They're going to make you wrap up all of your life and put it in a locker.
And charge you for it.
Charge you for it.
Yeah.
So I'm not so worried about that, but I'm with you I don't want to be walking around with wet boxers all day. That's just not my idea of fun. I'm sweating enough as it is. The water's actually not helping. It's exacerbating it and making it worse.
But you are completely right about the story elements. I think that Popeye has people may know who Popeye is, but olive oil, okay, that's a stretch. And then you start going into the stories. Like, we look at that area, even Dudley Do-Right. I'm sorry, that has missed a generation.
But hold on a tick. Let's talk about this for a second, because let me ask you guys this. You get two water rides side by side.
Well, three when you do look at Jurassic Park.
Well, I was saying,
right there.
and I was about to say Jurassic Park's just down the street, but like literally these two rides are side by side.
Yep.
Which ride would you say is a better attraction? Forget the IP, but for the experience, what's a better onboard ride?
Oh, man. I don't know, because I have such a bias against water rides in general.
Yeah.
It's not Popeye. It's not Popeye and Pluto. I can't give that.
See,
I can't give that one an edge for anything.
Yeah.
So.
The Dudley Do-Right ride, in my opinion, is far more exciting and fun. And there's
the
way
Flume
more
is gonna
storytelling. There's way more theming. It's cool. It's a cool ride.
But when you compare that to
when
Jurassic Park,
forget Jurassic Park for a second.
But it's a
Jurassic
water
Park-
ride.
Yeah, but forget about that for a second,
Okay.
because it's, first of all, it is a water ride. You do get wet. It's a way stronger IP.
better audio animatronics.
Yeah, everything's better.
Okay.
Agree. But I'm talking about the fact that you got these two and they're neighbors.
Sure.
And you've got Popeye, which the ride is, I would say, not as good as Dudley Do-Right. But Dudley Do-Right Who the hell is Dudley Do-Right? Like, what kid that goes to the park knows who Dudley Do-Right is?
It's a fact.
Like, I barely know who Dudley Do-Right is. Like, I mean, I know who he is, but Popeye is Popeye. We all know who Popeye is.
I think we know who Popeye is based on things like Robin Williams.
Yeah,
And
but the
then
cartoon,
Yeah.
the old cartoon. Well,
but-
I mean, I'm old, so geez. I mean, I know the cartoon.
And the only thing that I see Popeye on right now are the candy,
those vitamin stores.
No, well, yeah, actually, but those candy like cigarette
the Popeye
sticks,
cigarette
the
sticks.
Popeye candy things, and I'm like, come on, guys. Anytime I walk past that attraction, first off, I'm never looking at Popeyes. I'm looking at Dudley Do-Rights.
Mm-hmm.
But that area is it needs some TLC, and I think it needed that TLC when it opened.
Let me ask you guys: have you guys ever gone in those little portable dryers that they have at the bottom of those rides to pay the $5 and stand in that box, that hot box? Have you done that before?
Seen it, and I have zero desire to go in it. It just seems, I don't know. It's probably super sanitary because they're doing nothing but blowing heat, but it feels gross.
I've done it. It feels pretty great. 'Cause if it's not sunny outside, you know how you'll look at a ride like Dudley Do-Right and you're like, how wet am I going to get? Like maybe a little splash. Then you get off of it and you're like, well, that was stupid.
Yep.
I'm soaked.
Yep.
And then you see the box and you're like, it's not even sunny out. I got $5. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And they just they cook you. It's like a microwave.
Where that $5, in my opinion, is better spent on a butterbeer.
Totally right. You're absolutely right. But I didn't want to walk around the park when it wasn't sunny, like frozy.
Yeah.
You know, like it was a cool spring day.
Well, then why would you go on it?
Because it somewhat looked cool. I want to go on it. You know, it's Dudley Do-Right. You know,
Well, I think the fact that Sean, you brought up Dudley Do-Right and Popeye, I think that area, I look at Popeyes as being a comparison to Cali River Rapids.
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
that Dudley Do-Right's is a comparison to, well, if not any flume ride, probably Splash Mountain. So when you have two comparables right side by side, who does it better?
Dudley.
Right.
Dudley. Boombayay. Yeah, it's just weird because people don't know who Dudley is. That's all. That's my point.
Yep.
Well, and they're missing the boat because they've got Brendan Fraser
Yep.
over in The Mummy, so you could bring back.
Well, and
You
he's
know,
not doing
bring it
anything
back.
right now.
I've never
No,
seen.
and he already did he was Dudley Do-Right in the Dudley Do-Right movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally was. But I
Yeah. So you just do a sequel.
wait.
Bring him
Was
back.
he not also George of the Jungle too?
He was.
He was.
George
This-
the
this,
Jungle.
This guy could be all over this park.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He really could. This could be the Brendan Fraser park, and I think that's where they're missing out. If I'm being honest.
Where the other park, Universal Studios Florida, is the Rock Park. They could easily put the Rock in every single part of that park. The Rock in Ghostbusters. The Rock is Fast and Furious. The Rock in The Mummy.
Wait, Ghostbusters.
I was just thinking. I think that the
see,
Rock could easily pull off Ghostbusters.
They need a Ghostbusters attraction, like a legit one, not a show. Like
the Rock in Harry Potter. The Rock in Men in
Rock-
Black. The Rock in.
The Rock is an admitted Hufflepuff, according to his Twitter.
Really?
He has claimed Hufflepuff.
See,
Interesting.
Jill's a Hufflepuff and I'm a Slytherin, so we are in a hither. No, what is it? A Hufflepuff? No, a Huffle
Hufferin?
Stitch.
A Slitherpuff.
Slitherpuff. We're a Slitherpuff.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sean, what are you in your house?
I'm a Muggle. Is what I am. I've taken that test a million times with something different. I just tell people I'm a Jedi.
I'm a Jedi. I don't even know which one is which. Like, what are the characteristics of, like, what would make you?
You're either
So you're just a bad guy. That's why you're
not a
Slytherin.
bad guy.
That's
I
why
just
you're
like
the
to
bad guy.
win.
Yeah, okay, all right. There's that too. And why? So why is Jill a Hufflepuff?
Oh, because she's
Does she have
compassionate.
asthma?
No, she's compassionate and caring and is more in a pleasing mentality when she's in a group. She likes to make sure that the group
And that's
kind of
not-
wins as a whole.
And Gryffindor isn't.
Gryffindor, they want to be at the top. They want to
what's-
be the champion.
Okay.
And then there's Ravenclaw, which is kind of just in the middle.
Just in the middle.
Yeah.
That might be me. Maybe I'm a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw is just in the middle until you release a candle with a raven on it
Yeah.
instead of an eagle, and then the book fans will light you up on social media.
Oh, see that
Oops.
So they-
what we've learned not to read comments on social media.
we stopped because obviously all of our stuff is theme parks.
Yeah.
And in parks, it's a raven.
Yeah.
And in the movies, it's a raven. We know it's different, but we're not book alchemy. So that's like if we start library alchemy, we might switch it up. But yeah, this is what I know about Ravenclaw, and I don't hold them in very high esteem.
Well, you know what? Great segue there, Sean, because before we wrap this up, now that you've given your amazing retire me, let's talk about Theme Park Alchemy really quick, because the holidays are fast approaching. And you guys have sponsored this segment, and we're thrilled that you're here. What's the cool thing happening for Christmas?
Yeah, so we've got Black Friday is coming up around the corner, and if you're on our email list, which I definitely recommend doing, you will actually get notified early. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we do the whole thing. It actually kicks off for us on November 22nd. We will start our Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, and if you're a member of the guild, meaning you're on our email list, we'll start even a little bit earlier. We've decided that it's cool that Black Friday is a day, but our whole thing is transmutation and conjuring up stuff, right? We're a bunch of wizards and witches that make cool smelling candles. So we decided to conjure up Black Friday as a week. So we call it the Blackest of Fridays. We celebrate the entire week, and it kicks off on November 22nd. Earlier and bigger discounts for members of the guild. Anything you buy, we have a buy one, get one for candles. Basically, you buy one thing and then you get one. Let's see. I have to actually pull up the ad that I just put together.
Yeah, make sure you're saying the right stuff.
Yeah.
It's buy one, get one free. Oh, wait. Actually, no, that's not right. It was buy three, get one free. Oh.
Black Friday 2019, buy one, get one half off.
There we go.
Buy one, get one and a half off. It is a BOGO ho. And again, that will start on November 22nd, and we will run through Black Friday.
And is that for all merchandise? So candles, all the art, everything like that? Or is it just on...
That is the candles, that is wax melts, that is room sprays, that is the artwork, that is, I don't know if we have any of the shirts anymore. I think we sold out of those, and I don't know if we'll be able to get any in before Black Friday, but the artwork, the phone stands, the cell phone stands, little pop socket looking things, the room keys, while we have those still in stock, those would also be valid as well.
Well, then you better get moving, friends, because there's only limited stock over at the Theme Park Alchemy. And if you want to get that theme park fan the perfect stocking stuffer, the perfect holiday treat, you want to check out themeparkalchemy.com for some banana breath or some shark bait. I know that that's on my list. That's for sure. I think I want to get my wife banana breath because she likes banana.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's do it. Well, thanks so much, Sean, for coming on today, telling us a little bit more about your special deals and retiring an attraction at Islands of Adventure.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, fellas. It was fantastic.
No, appreciate it.
All right. Take care, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
Was that it? I think that's it, guys.
Yeah.
We did it. Well, hey, thanks, Tal, for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Did you have give me the confident goodbye.
No, actually, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was really really nice to chit chat some geeky theme park stuff.
Yeah, we're nerds for sure, and we appreciate you being here and nerding out with us. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. And if you enjoyed the show, tell somebody about it, or better yet, share it with some of your fellow theme park nerd friends, or nerdlings, as I like to call them. Nerdies. Hey, just like us, feel free to rate and review. That's always helpful. Most of all, please subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fun. You can also find us on Instagram at
We Like Theme Parks.
Or you can email us directly at
ideas@welikethemeparks.com.
Music for the We Like Theme Parks podcast was composed and provided by Tal. I did this to Jill last week. She knew it.
Mike Treblecock.
You can check him out at MikeTreblecockmusic.com. Well, that's it, folks. See you real soon. Why? Because we like you and
We like
theme
Dole Whips.
parks. Tal, you didn't even say anything.
I was just letting you guys have your moment.